watching Fox 10 Phoenix now.
We are going to start this hour now with the Fox 10 News Alert as a major street is shut down. There was a deadly hit-and-run crash involving a pedestrian.
Irene Snyder has the very latest this morning live near 48th Street and Broadway. Irene.
Good morning, guys. We've been here all morning at this point, several hours, and this street area of the road, for a lot of it, in fact, is still they're still working on some things, but most of this road up here, you can see, is all open right now. There's still a couple police cars around the corner still working on some things, but the good news is this stretch of road here is open at this point. It was closed down for hours, 44th to 48th Street, Broadway now. According is that a pickup truck fled following this hit-and-run crash that happened in the early morning hours. Again, as you can take a look at some of this footage here, the traffic here, the road was closed down for several hours from 44th to 48th Street here at Broadway. Now, again, this road here has reopened. It just reopened just a little while ago. But again, what we do know so far, according to the Phoenix Department, this was a hit-and-run driver in a pickup truck that fled down Broadway. We do know that one person died as a result of this hit-and-run crash. No word so far about any suspects or about any condition of the victim, or not condition, or rather any details about the victim in this case. But we do know, again, that there is one death following this hit-and-run crash that happened in the early morning hours here at 48th Street and Broadway. The good news is for your morning commute that there is the roads are open now at this point. Something to keep in mind if you've been looking at our reports throughout the morning. Just even an hour ago, every area here was shut down. So we'll send it back to you guys for now. But again, what we do have confirmed is one death following this hit-and-run crash. Still waiting on details about the suspect.
The golden age of America begins right now.
President Trump kicks off day 2 of his second non-consecutive term in the White House, the second president to serve under those terms. Yesterday, he took the oath of office, becoming the 47th commander-in-chief. And he wasted no time getting right to work, signing a slew of executive orders into the night. Many are related to immigration, one of the key issues during the election, second only to the economy. And
with the president now declaring a national emergency at the border, Fox 10 is there to see how President Trump's executive order could impact Arizona's border with Mexico.
Ty is in San Luis this morning with more on what's happening in that community there outside of Yuma, Arizona. Hey, Ty.
Good morning, you guys. Yeah, this is so busy out here at the port of San Luis. If you look behind me, you can see a string of cars entering Mexico into Arizona. You've got people walking across the border as well. Now, it's estimated that there are anywhere between 15 and 20,000 individuals that come into Arizona every single day to work in some of the various fields. You also see mothers taking their kids to school here in Arizona as well. But as you mentioned, during the election, President Trump made immigration one of his biggest talking points, and now that he is in office, he plans to make good on those promises. In fact, yesterday on his first day in office, the president issued multiple executive orders related to immigration, including, as Ron mentioned, that national emergency here at the border. Now, the state of emergency would allow the Defense Department to deploy the military and National Guard to the border. How many troops are still yet to be seen? Where those troops could be sent still remains to be seen as well. In fact, a lot of these executive orders right now are still kind of wait and see. In fact, I was in contact with someone with the Border Patrol who said a lot of this is still, quote, up in the air. President Trump will also make good on beginning mass deportations. In fact, our sister station in Chicago has learned about the possibilities of some of those mass deportations set to come in the coming days here. The Trump administration also said it will end birthright citizenship, which means any child right now that is born in the United States automatically gets citizenship. And Trump wants to take that away, although some political analysts say that could be a bit harder for the president to take back because that's actually part of our Constitution, the 14th Amendment. In fact, Senator Gallego taking to X saying he would fight this, quote, un-American executive order. Now, Trump also plans to reinstate the Remain in Mexico policy, which means migrants would have to wait in their own country until they had an appointment for asylum. Yesterday, we also saw multiple individuals saying that their CBP One app, which is that app that was designed during the Biden administration to kind of get one of those appointments, was basically dismantled yesterday. Now, we should mention that border crossings, those are down significantly. According to the U.S. Customs Border Protection figures, in the last 6 months, apprehensions have decreased by more than 70%. That is due to an executive order by President Joe Biden last summer and the Mexican National Guard cracking down on migrants heading into the U.S. But again, a lot of this is still wait and see. We've been talking to a lot of these officials who said, the president just came into office yesterday. He's been signing these executive bills, but what exactly will happen still remains to be seen. So that's why we're here in southern Arizona over the rest of the morning. We're going to be talking to some of these individuals that potentially could be affected by some of these executive orders. So that's what we're going to be doing throughout the rest of the morning. So coming up in our 8 o'clock hour, we are going to be talking to some farm owners down here in Yuma County to see how this could potentially be affecting them as well, you guys.
All right, Ty, great report down there. Thank you, buddy. We'll see you in a few minutes.
On to other border-related news this morning. The U.S. Senate just passed the Laken Riley Act in a 64-35 vote. The bill requires federal immigration authorities to detain illegal immigrants who are accused of theft-related crimes. The legislation named after the Georgia nursing student killed by an illegal immigrant. Both Arizona's Democrat senators, Ruben Gallego and Mark Kelly, voted in favor of the Laken Riley Act. It now heads President Trump's desk and could actually be the first law he signs as president.
Our coverage of the latest developments as the new border policy of the Trump administration is put into effect. Ty will join us again at 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. and later today as well. Fox 10 reporter Kenzie Beach will be in Nogales, Arizona. You can get all the latest on Fox 10 on air, online, and on our Fox Local app.
New this morning, Phoenix firefighters battling a blaze at a condo complex. This fire broke out at about 12:30 this morning, just off the I-17 and Thomas Road. We're told that 2 adults and 5 dogs are displaced. No injuries reported, but the cause of the fire is still not clear.
Phoenix police investigating a shooting overnight. We first showed you the scene. It was late last night as a news alert, 32nd Avenue and an Indian school. Responding, the officers there to a call about a fight at an apartment complex. They found a man who had been shot. He was taken to the hospital. Officers now searching for suspects. It is not clear if anyone was taken into custody. We are learning more this morning about 3 people who were found dead inside of a houseboat at Saguaro Lake.
It happened just the other day. Really shockwaves. The county sheriff's office says 35-year-old Amanda Elderkin was found dead inside. Her husband, 41-year-old Jason Elderkin, and mother, 57-year-old Julian Affman, were all found dead. Their bodies discovered in the middle of the day. It was around 3 in the afternoon. This was back on the 18th. Deputies think all 3 died from carbon monoxide poisoning.
Carbon monoxide is a gas, and it's a gas that's produced anytime there's incomplete combustion of a carbon-based material. It's an odorless, colorless, non-irritating gas. So we don't really have a good way to know that carbon monoxide exists.
So how could something like this happen and 3 lives lost? Well, the investigation remains ongoing, although investigators, it appears, have ruled out any type of foul play. Moving on to a sad Fox follow-up on a dog abuse investigation.
Better Chance Rescue says the pit bull mix named Chowder has now died. Volunteers say Chowder's condition worsened and he had to be euthanized. The dog was dehydrated and emaciated when he was brought to the shelter. Someone turned him in recent weeks. He didn't weigh much, only 16 pounds, when he should have weighed 60. Surprise police have now confirmed that the department has received a report about the incident, and investigators are looking into this case.
Welcome back. Well, we are halfway through meteorological winter, and snow across northern Arizona, as we know, is scarce. For Sunrise Park Resort, this means that their snowmaking team is working around the clock to keep the mountain ski ready. So joining us right now is Todd Clark, the general manager for Sunrise. And Todd, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
Very good morning. Good. A little chilly, but good. So I want to start out by talking about a few numbers here. You guys sent me these yesterday. You guys started out the season all right. You picked up 20 inches of snow between October and November, but then you had nothing natural all December, and you've only had 9 inches of snow, nature-made at least, this month, compared to over 5 feet of snow that you saw last January. So all that said, I know that you guys are up and running. I actually recently visited. So the big question is, how do you handle years like this one?
Well, so, over the last few years, we really focused on what's going to really make us safe for all kinds of variable weather conditions. So we invested over $1 million in our snowmaking system.
Wow.
Obviously, Mother Nature has two components: bring us cold, bring us snow. And as long as we get cold, we can make snow, and honestly, supreme quality snow.
So talking about the snowmaking process, where does the water originate from? How do you guys spread it across the mountain? What is really the process to making your mountain look as good as it does right now?
So what we have, all of our water comes into what we call Lake Ono. That's at the very base of Sunrise. And then we pump it up the mountain to the mid-mountain location. And from there, we can distribute it to where we're looking to make snow.
So we're seeing,
pretty sophisticated, yeah.
We're seeing some video right now of it looks like a big, almost tractor. Is that what's pushing around the snow?
So what pushes the snow around, a pump will bring the water up to our central compression building. And then from there, we distribute it out. What you saw in that video is what we call a fan gun.
Okay.
That fan gun has an onboard compressor. So we bring water, and basically that compressor produces the air and then crystallizes and makes snow. Makes
it the winter wonderland. And I would imagine in a season like this that you guys have a really big team. Are you working just around the clock?
We are. So a lot of science behind snowmaking. We have to know exactly when it's going to get cold, how long it'll remain cold. So it's not just your outdoor temperature, it's your humidity, and there's a variety of things, throughout the night we can have sort of warm spells come throughout the mountain. So we have to be ready to move and navigate, if we have a mid-mountain warming, but the base area is colder, we have to move. So we are constantly on it. A dedicated team of 6 with a bunch of other cross-trains, so about 10 people making snow.
Wow, and real quick, before we wrap up here, just remind everyone where you guys are located and if you have anything new going on at the park.
Yeah, so we're in the White Mountains of Arizona. One thing, I saw all those cold temps, but we were -2 last night and really going to be cold the next few days. And really, Sunrise, we've invested over $12 million in the last 3 years. And truly quality snow, even though Mother Nature hasn't dropped it from the sky. But we're looking at snow Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, hopefully at the end of this week. Come on out for a really, really fun experience.
All right, fingers crossed that you guys can get a little more snow this January, and we still got a couple months ahead for you guys. Thanks so much for speaking with us, Todd.
Thank you. Have a great day.